Welcome to the R&R Show. Sit back and relax and enjoy the best little sports show ever. I'm your host, Michael Roope, and to the left of me is my co-host, William Rumsey. Hello, William.
Hooday.
Oh, hooday. Well, we're talking Reds today,
Whatever.
buddy.
I was in my zone.
Yeah, you're still in the Bengals now, which is
yeah.
fair. I mean, you saying that, let me ask you this.
Well, it was a shitty start to the year for the Reds, which we've seen the Bengals do. So I'll just
I get it. So you saying hooday, let me ask you this. Do you think the area is still a baseball town or a football town?
That's a great question. The way Cincinnati celebrates opening day is just special. It really is. I mean, I saw Field Yates from ESPN. I follow him on Twitter, and he's like, that's on my sports bucket list to go to Cincinnati for opening day, and that kind of opened my eyes up. Like it's a big thing.
It is.
I think. That being said, I think it's switched to a football town. I think with the recent run,
I think
Joe
opening
Burrow,
day in football, I just think it's they need more bunting around those days. I think if we had some more bunting, it would be a little.
Yeah. No, I think. No, I just think that I would say it's a football city.
I just think
too. With them picking Joe Burrow, his persona, their successful run with the Super Bowl, and then pair with Jamar Chase and I just think it's a football team.
And I still think it could go back to being a baseball because they have Ellie De La Cruz. And that, I tell you what, regardless of what you think about the Reds, they will be an absolutely fun team to watch this year.
I'm hoping. I think the problem with the Reds is they have not a World Series. They haven't won a playoff series since 1995. So we're right at 30 years. With the expansion of the playoffs, like how many damn teams make the playoffs nowadays? That is embarrassing. I mean, and that's, I don't know what that.
I looked at some kind of chart. The most valuable teams in the MLB. Mm-hmm. We are at third from the bottom. We're only beating the Tampa Bay Rays and the Miami Marlins, and we all know,
and payroll.
Or the value of the team,
franchise,
the value of the team, and it just that kind of hit me, like, okay, we are really operating at a disadvantage with the resources and the revenue, but
sure.
The Bengals are too. And the Bengals are figuring it out, but now the Bengals got a superstar, and I think now the Reds have a superstar. Now,
the salary cap matters too.
Big time.
Yeah,
I mean,
the disparity between the top teams and the bottom.
Baseball.
It's just like society growing.
Yeah, and I think that's why they've expanded the playoffs because they realize it. But until they get a salary cap. And even the playing field, I think it's going to continue. You're going to see that. I mean, we're facing all-star teams up and down. The Braves, the Dodgers, the Phillies. I mean, it's.
And now the Dodgers are structuring these contracts where they're like deferring those big payments.
Yeah.
That's just smart business.
Yeah.
But it's just insane. You look at the Dodgers lineup and their pitching staff. And it's like we have Ellie, but every other position would probably be taken by if you're
Dodgers
choosing.
have 8 aces.
It's not
every start's an ace.
I think it's killing the sport.
It is.
I mean, obviously there's money in that sport, and I guess that's how you gauge the popularity. But it is just and I don't like to be a fair weather fan, but I feel like there's has to be some kind of social contract between a team and the fans. And if you don't win a playoff series for 30... Like, I saw something that I think it's maybe since the year 2000, the Reds have won the least amount of playoff games. Like, 2.
That's embarrassing.
That's
embarrassing. Well,
but that being said, I mean, I just took the shine off the excitement.
Well, I will tell you that. I mean, obviously we got a superstar in Ellie.
Yeah.
Hunter
Green.
Well, Hunter Green. But we're on the clock to lock those guys up because if they hit the open market, Ellie could be the first $1 billion player by the time he comes.
Yeah, I mean, what you've seen a lot of teams doing is lock those guys up early. They buy out their arbitration years, tack-ons. Like Tatis. And Do the Reds have?
They're going to have
to do that.
They have to, because if not, you might as well say goodbye to all those guys.
Yeah, I mean, how old is Ellie?
He's young. He's obviously
You know,
early
because
20s.
everybody's going to point to the Votto contract, how it hamstrung the Reds, you know. But they took it to his, like, age 38.
But we got we got our money out.
Who's Ellie's agent? Is it Scott Boras?
Because
if it's Boris,
we're screwed.
Right?
Because they just, but again, it just goes back to, the small market. But that being said, now the Reds do have, I believe, the pieces in place. I don't like our bullpen, and obviously right out of the gate that was that's evident. Especially with Diaz going on the DL, but he was kind of shaky there last year. But offensively, I like what we kind of got going.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Ellie,
McLean.
Yep, McLean.
Yeah, obviously, and you got CEH over there.
Yeah,
He's
he
got
had a
pop.
decent game the other day.
I was hoping Novelli Marte would have made the team.
Yeah.
Coming out of spring training, but obviously that didn't happen.
Candelario had a good game on opening day. Yep. Some of the outfield pieces, Gavin Lux, we don't know what. I mean, he was a super hype prospect. Spencer Steer, I think his shoulders. I mean,
if Friedel's back, he looks good.
Yeah. What about Fraley?
Yeah, I mean,
Friedel and Fraley.
Friedel Fraley.
What do we feel about that?
Well,
combo?
I will say this. The Reds had an opportunity to get one of the guys that I think's awesome is Luis Robert, and they just didn't pull the trigger because they didn't want to give up an infield minor leaguer. And I'm like, we are so like.
Just we hoard our prospects and then they do nothing.
Yeah, but we have so many infielders. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Because I disagree.
I think we got the starting pitching finally this year. If they stay healthy, Green, Lodolo, Singer. We got Andrew Abbott waiting in the wings. Who else we got?
Nick Martinez.
Nick Martinez. I mean,
they got a couple guys in the Chase Burns, Rhett
Louder. I think he's going to pop.
I think the pitching is solid in place. Are they going to
so
hit?
Why not trade and get a Robert? I mean, Luis Robert.
He had a crap. He didn't have a very good year last year.
Doesn't matter. He's got the pedigree.
Yeah, I don't disagree. But I think the most important player for the Reds, obviously Ellie, but then I think number 2 is probably Matt McLean. Just on the offensive side, now the pitching, you have to have that. But Matt McLean, I mean, his rookie year, he was great. Missed all last year. They say he had a good spring training. He's the linchpin. I mean, after Ellie, you have to have somebody produce, and I think that he's the guy.
And they're young. It's a very young team, and with young team, they don't know any better. They hustle, they play hard, and that's why it's going to be a fun team. And Tito's going to get them, buy in, and Tito's light years ahead of our last.
That. And I know we can't just harp on one game. That was an odd pick for the closer role.
I didn't understand that. Like, that came out of left field. Like, we got some, like, French guy coming in. I don't even know who the hell he was.
I think he was Great Britain, wasn't he?
Was he?
Was he from Great Britain?
He looked like Pierre.
Gabot?
I don't know.
But
I think it's French.
Fragile.
Yeah.
You had the guy that you just traded from the Giants, the Rogers.
Yep.
And he's been a closer.
And Barlow.
Barlow.
They even
it was just
threw around that Graham Ashcraft was going to be the closer.
I just did.
And then it's like somebody that wasn't even on the radar.
I mean, I guess Tito was going with his gut and had a good feeling, but his gut failed him.
Yeah.
That was atrocious.
Now, in all fairness, a lot of relievers had some rough starts across the major league. Even Clase, which is regarded as the best closer for the Guardians. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You come in opening day, cold day. I get
tough.
It's
and
take,
nerves.
Yeah, nerves.
The crowd was popping. They were excited.
But they had it in their. I mean, the Giants perform. I mean, they did it when they had to. It's just I don't know.
I know. But that being said, how do you see the season shaking out for our beloved Redlegs? Do you think we throw our hat in the ring for the playoffs this year?
Man, I just don't think they're ready yet.
I don't like that answer.
We give the truth here at the R&R. I think they're 1 year out. I think next year that they'll make a play for it.
Here's how I see it playing out. I see them being in the hunt come trade deadline. Mm-hmm. They add the piece they should have added early season, like a Luis Robert. Hopefully it is Luis Robert. Because the White Sox have, they're not doing anything, so they will be moving him at some point. So, but I just think they're one piece away, maybe one arm in the bullpen away, and then I think we have the pieces in place. Our division is weaker than ever.
That's the one caveat I'll put. The division just doesn't have any world beaters in it.
No. And that bodes well. Now we're not going.
I would have loved to have seen them trade for Kyle Tucker. That's the trade that the Reds should. I mean, I granted they gave up a big piece in Cam Smith for him, but our outfield needed that.
Yeah, and we go back to Luis Robert. Let's just. But anyway, that being said, I don't think they're going to get in as a wild card team. I think they're going to have to win the division because there's too many heavyweights in the East and in the West that are going to gobble those wild cards up.
Agreed. And I hope I'm wrong. I'm in a show me stance with the Reds at this point. They've just disappointed me for too long.
Yeah,
give me something. I mean, remember when they made the playoffs a couple years ago and
don't tell me where they got a no hit by Holiday.
No, well that one, but they had it was a 3-game playoff series against the Braves and they didn't score a run.
But but even going back further than that, when we were all excited, I remember us going to I think it was Top Shelf, and the excitement for the playoffs. And then Halliday no-hits them, and then the next night they one-hit them, and I'm like, man.
I went to the game, I know I talk about this, but Hamels, literally no runner made it past second base. They got shut out.
But, I think
that stadium, playoff baseball is special. Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, all playoff football, baseball.
But I think we got a horse in Hunter Green ready to take that next step as a legit hammer.
He looked really, really good.
Yeah.
On opening day. I mean, he gave up the home run, but whatever. That's just, I think he's saying the right things. He's like, I want to go 7, 8, 9 innings.
Yeah.
And with a bullpen that's shaky, you need that every fifth day.
Yeah. And I thought, I just still think they'll add, if fingers crossed, they're in contention to win the Central. I think they're in a position to move a piece or two to make that run. I think they realize the fans are hungry, and I think that they realize that they are losing their grip on the area to the Bengals, and they need to do something, and they need to do something now.
Yeah. Oh. I like it. That's...
Oh, man.
Very stern. I'm kind of scared.
I know. I kind of scared myself too, William. So, but that being said, gun to the head, you still think they're a year away?
I do.
Flip side, folks, I think we're playoff bound. Yeah. Wait, short series, we throw Hunter Green and then either Ladola or if Rhett Lauder comes up and lights it up. I think in a short series we could do it. The Reds are fun. They're energetic. They're young. And I like
it. I like the enthusiasm.
I like young teams that are running and all that. It just creates havoc.
Yeah.
And errors happen and all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah,
so
I think
they're going to be fun. And here's a bold prediction. My favorite all-time Reds player is
Eric Davis.
Eric Davis. I think Ellie De La Cruz gives us an Eric Davis type season.
Okay.
Maybe 30-50.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, 30-50. Davis had a 30-50. He almost had a
40.
He had 80 stolen bases one year with 27 homers, but that was in 120. God, he was special.
Who's faster in their prime, Ellie or Eric?
It's hard for me ever to go against Eric. Eric was special.
Eric the Red.
God, he was awesome. Anyway, what say you? Tell us, did we move it from 35 up to millions of fans?
We did.
All right. Well, tell us what you guys think of the Reds and what they'll do this year. Let us know. Thank